ButterVision. We're back, and welcome to Unsportsmanlike Conduct, the show with a bunch of handsome men's arguing about sports. On today's episode, Danny Fairman, Theo Wilson, David Goodman, and Olu Alemoru. And now, here's your host. He's supposed to be the franchise player, but we're sitting up here talking about practice, J.D. Butter!
Yeah, that's right, y'all. That's right. I got my cane because I'm pimping. Because I live in the city of Champagnes, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Unsportsmanlike Conduct. We're back after a little bit of a hiatus. And during that hiatus, my friends, the NBA has a new champion. And the World Series has a new champion also, Dodgers style, ladies and germs. You know how we do, City of Champions. Unsportsmanlike Conduct. We're back and we got a great topic for you. We got a stretch run, our last few episodes of the season coming up. They're going to be hilarious. So let's get right into this one. Let's get these panelists in here first and foremost. Starting off with my man making probably his third or fourth appearance, always performs well. From Baltimore, big Ravens fan, my man, Mr. Theo Wilson in the house, ladies and germs. Let's get him in here. There he is.
What's happening?
Yeah, Howard University.
It's headed to the White House.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I hadn't even mentioned, but yes, it's a historic day that we're shooting this episode on, ladies and gentlemen.
I know we're not supposed to talk politics, but I had to slide that in there.
It's worth it. It's worth it. It's all good. Now, how your Ravens doing? Because I haven't been following. What's going on with that?
Respectable.
Okay.
Respectable, but I am going to actually include how they're doing in this episode with my
wow.
rant.
Okay.
Because it's a teaching moment, JD.
Wow.
That's what my rant is a teaching moment. It's not I had a meltdown rant. It's a teaching moment rant. You'll see.
My man Theo don't play, y'all.
Sure.
Next up, the points leader, the current point leader, one of our main cheaters already, always playing the heartstrings with the violins and what have you, but always hilarious, my man, Mr. Danny Fairman in the house, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. Yeah, that's right, Danny. That's right.
Dodgers.
What? What's this guy doing now? What? Are you going to start doing sign language? What's going on here? Oh. Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What's up, my man?
City of Champions, baby. That's right.
32 years, had to do it.
Yeah, no doubt. I love it. How you feeling, man? I mean, with all that's gone on in LA sports in the last 30 days.
Well, I could give a shit about the Lakers, but I don't know if you heard, Dodgers are world champions.
I did hear that.
That was for my man, Bert Blackerack.
That's right. Who was supposed to be on this episode. We'll mention him in a second. Let's get the rest of these guys in here. Next up, one of our main cut-ups and also one of our top point scorers so far, Danny's main nemesis, the doctor of general knowledge, Mr. David Goodman in the house, ladies and germs. Let's get him in here. Mr. Goodman. He's joining. There he is.
Capital D.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Again, ladies and gentlemen. NBA champions. I cannot say it enough.
Now listen. We've had it pretty good around here the last couple weeks, fellas.
Indeed,
right?
Yeah.
All right. We got these guys, right? Listen, we got these guys.
Exactly.
Right? We got it pretty good around here.
Yeah.
And then now, hold on, and now.
Oh boy.
We got this guy. Now look, here's the deal. All right? It's America.
I love it. So, Mr. Goodman, you're from Philly though. Like, I mean, so are you down with what's been going on here? Or is it kind of, I mean.
Now look, here's the deal. Philadelphia, my people, it's where I'm from.
Yeah.
And they won it. I don't know. That's yeah.
You know, kind of.
I tell everybody.
I'm from Detroit, so
I tell everybody it was my family. It was my family that put everybody over the top.
Yeah, that was my people's.
Thank you.
All right, so let's get our last panelist in here. You guys know him as the African Englishman, straight out of Manchester, England. My man, Mr. Olu Alemoru in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get him in here. All right, Mr. Alemoru, there he is. What's going on, my man? How's it going over there in the UK?
Oh well, it's good. It's good. We're on our second lockdown.
I think that says it all right.
Okay.
By the way, I don't know if they report on these types of things in the UK, but I don't know if you heard, but the Lakers are the NBA champions and the Dodgers are the World Series champions. I just wanted to make sure they reported on that back in the UK.
Oh yeah, it got coverage here, and I gave you guys my tribute with Nutmeg. So
yeah, which we will play as the add-on to this episode. But speaking of that, let's get right into this episode because it's a good one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've been wanting to do this for a long time. Today we're going to be talking about the most memorable interview press conference meltdown. So you got it. It could be like a sports guy being interviewed or like a press conference. And like the guy goes nuts, says all sorts of crazy stuff, whatever. Most memorable press conference interview meltdown. So let's get right into it. And let's start with our man, the doctor of general knowledge, who had a quick costume change ready. He was chomping at. Wow. Okay, always prepared.
The fun that is
right?
Thank you, Amazon.
Yeah. And actually, before you start, Dave, let me let all the viewers know that today, because we really want you to be able to see all the meltdowns, so today we're giving our panelists up to 2 minutes of video and their 2 minutes of arguing about their meltdown choice. So now, Dave, you get into it.
Today we're going to talk about the Mike Gundy, I'm a man, I'm 40. JD, let's go to the tape.
All right, let's do that.
Question on this game. I'm gonna talk about this article right here. If anybody hasn't read this article, I don't read it. This was brought to me by a mother of children. I think this is worth reading. Let me tell you why I want to talk about this article. 3/4 of this is inaccurate. It's fiction. And this article embarrasses me, but you didn't have that. But someday you will. And when your child comes home, you'll understand. If you want to go after an athlete, one of my athletes, you go after one that doesn't do the right things. You don't downgrade him because he does everything right and may not play as well on Saturday. And you let us make that decision. That's why I don't read the newspaper. Because it's garbage. And the editor that let it come out is garbage. Attacking an amateur athlete for doing everything right. And then you want to write articles about guys that don't do things right and downgrade them, the ones that do make plays. Are you kidding me? Where are we at in society today? Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40. I'm not a kid. Write something about me or our coaches. Don't write about a kid that does everything right, that's heart's broken, and then say that the coaches said he was scared. That ain't true. And then to say that we made that decision because Donovan Woods, because he threatened to transfer, that's not true. So get your facts straight. And I hope someday you have a child and somebody downgrades them and belittles them, and you have to look them in the eye and say, you know what, it's okay. They're supposed to be mature adults, but they're really not. Who's the kid here? Who's the kid here? Are you kidding me? That's all I got to say. Makes me want to puke.
Wow. Who's the man here? Who's the kid here? All right. So
2 minutes, go.
All right, so let's talk about. Let me tell you about this. The key here is let's talk about the story. All right, and let's go to the script. All right. Bobby Reed was Houston Player of the Year and expected to be the man at Oklahoma State. He redshirted in 2004. When Les Miles decided to bolt for LSU, Reed wanted to follow him, but the new head coach, Mike Gundy, urged him to stay, bringing him in and told him, "You're the future of our program, son." 2005, he started as a redshirt freshman, played great, but in week 6 he was injured, carted off the field with his mother in the cart. Store that image away. Didn't play the rest of the season. Sophomore season went off with a bang for 411 yards, breaking Gundy's school record and totaling 6 TDs against Kansas. However, a week later against Texas A&M, he suffered a mild concussion. Sideline chatter was that it was a minor nick. There were rumblings that Reed was being soft. Because of the concussion, they brought in a kid named Zach Robinson. Rumors suggested that Mike Gundy didn't trust Reed and that he didn't think Reed had what it took to be a starter. Then against rival Oklahoma, he drew up a plan to play both quarterbacks to kind of throw him off. With about 6 minutes left in the game, Reed threw a touchdown to get Oklahoma within 6 points, but Gundy brought in Robinson with the last 2 minutes of the game because he didn't think he could trust Reed. Reed asked the coach if he could go in. He got no reply. He said, "I just blacked out and lost it. I was cursing and just going off." The following season, in the second week, he received another minor injury. Gundy called him into the office, told him he was going to be the full-time backup. That next week, OSU lost to Troy, 41-23. Sorry, guys. After the game, Reed's mother saw him eating a box of chicken, took it away from him. He took a piece of chicken from his mom, and a reporter saw this. The next day, writer Jenny Carlson wrote an article about how Reed wasn't strong enough and he was being coddled by his mother, proving the point that his mother fed him a piece of chicken. Okay, so the biggest problem here is this article was written about Gundy trying to defend the kid, but really Gundy was just offending the kid. He was caught off guard. The coach was burying him privately, but going to war for him publicly. Both Reed and his mother felt that the article came straight from Gundy himself. They felt the rant was fake. Gundy told the team, "What's happened has happened." Reed, just a kid, bit his tongue. He told his fullback, "Bro, I cry myself to sleep every night." The final indignity, and I will close with this. Am I too long? How long was that?
Wrap it up.
The final indignity came with OSU leading 45-14. Gundy put him in just to kneel, and the home crowd catcalled, "Hey, Bobby Reed, we don't need you. Game over."
Wow.
Well, we can't get that 2 minutes back.
Please continue.
Yeah.
This whole episode is about I'm a man, I'm 40.
All
Can I throw one thing in?
Yeah.
Sure.
I now know
Go on,
where
Tim.
the line from Talladega Nights comes from, where Will Ferrell's in the infirmary.
Oh, yeah.
He says, "I hope you have boys. I hope you have beautiful boys one day."
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know where that came from. That was right out of that speech. I didn't know that rant. So thank you.
All
You're
right.
welcome.
Well. Yeah. Anywho, Mr. Alemoru, you're up, my man.
You have 7 minutes. Go.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to do a preamble first because there was a terrific press conference back in 2002 where Tyson fought Lewis. Except, of course, the press conference within a minute devolved into one of the best fights you'll ever see, and a melee of epic proportions. And that was like third on my list. The second one, because I'm such a huge NFL fan, is Jim Mora and the playoffs, where he screws up his face, where a reporter asked him about the playoffs, and it became, of course, like a popular advert. And I just love Jim Mora's face and the way he screws it up and the way he squeaks the line playoffs. But my number one, I have to put on my hat, Manchester United. To Manchester came a Frenchman called Eric Cantona, King Eric, who, when a game, he got sent off playing for Manchester United against Crystal Palace, where he kung fu kicked a fan who had ran down like 10 flights just to abuse him, and he got sent off, and it was the biggest sports story. And then he did a press conference, which I think if JD can possibly play it, I can recreate it for you, but it is absolutely a memorable sporting press conference that most fans of football here will remember.
All right, well, let's take a look at that.
Let's see if JD can get it up.
All right.
That's what somebody every Saturday, JD, you get that question.
Oh, there's not even a comeback for that.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm just gonna.
God, that's good. Oh, please.
Oh my.
Yeah, so I would just basically.
I don't even know what I just saw.
You still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Now, for years, it perplexed me why the British press, even though he was this enigmatic genius and he was a foreigner, that the press kind of insisted on wondering what he was on about, which was perfectly obvious to me when he was talking about the press being scavengers and vultures who follow the trawler because they want scandal. And that was like obvious within seconds to me, but the press have built that into the most philosophical conundrum for a good 20 years. But that is the number one press conference moment.
Okay. Sure. Moving on.
Theo, it's ours to lose.
I mean,
Right.
Hey.
you get to follow these two, man. Like, congratulations, first and foremost.
But I would like to say this. I'm going to borrow the phrase melee of epic proportion.
Yeah,
I like
That's good.
If I can have the accent
Englishman
with
is
it,
always
yeah,
good
yeah.
for a great turn of phrase. No
I
doubt.
ordered that for dessert, by the way. A melee of great epic proportions. Yeah, delicious.
All right, Theo, you're up, my man.
All righty. So the video will speak for itself. This is the great philosopher and leader of men, Herman Edwards, and his infamous rant. So,
Awesome.
JD, you can let it play.
All right, here we
This is
go.
what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win. And I don't care if you don't have any wins. You go play to win. When you start telling me it doesn't matter, then retire. Get out. Because it matters.
Yeah. You know, I swear to God, I just want to say before you do your talking, Theo, I hope that I have perfected in my life that look, that I can give someone like that. I mean, awesome. Okay, 2 minutes or however much you want to use your 2 minutes. Do it.
Won't take the whole 2 minutes. The best advice you usually get in life is extremely simple. I had an uncle tell me one time, once you spend money, it's gone. And at the time he told me, I thought, okay, that's the dumbest thing I've heard someone say. Later in life, looking at my financial balance, his voice came back. Oh, okay, you didn't invest, you didn't do this, you spent the money, it's gone. Anyway, Herm Edwards, a leader of men. You play to win. We don't always do that. You asked me how the Ravens were doing. They lost to the Steelers because they started playing to not lose. The Clippers are in the position they're in because they play to play. After this Herm Edwards rant, it stayed with me for the longest time. Because I started looking around just literally in my own life and seeing, where are you not really playing to win? Where are you just doing it just to do it? And you know what? You'll see a difference. When you come to play to actually win, that makes a huge, huge difference. The other thing, I wish I had a tape of Herm Edwards when he was talking to the NFL rookies. And he said, he keeps things simple. You only need one. You guys about to make a lot of money? How many cars you need? One. How many houses you need? One. How many chains? One. And you either get one girlfriend or one wife. You don't get both. He keeps it simple. And to me, that's not so much a rant as a life lesson. Play to win. That's the only reason to be out there. I'm done.
Wow. All right, he went mad philosophical on us, ladies and gentlemen. Very nice. Very nice. My Howard University brother. All right. You know what? It's time for some butter time right now. All right. I'm gonna step in right now, and I'm gonna, you know, as you know, I like to, you know, it's hard for me to break it down. So I have a runner-up today. All right. And, my runner-up is like, I mean, when talking about press conference and interview meltdowns, how could he even have an episode without talking about Mike Tyson at least twice? All right. So my first runner-up, and let's go to the video right now. Hold your horses, and here we go.
Is this your shortest fight ever? In any time, amateur, professional, ever?
Assalamu alaikum, Maida. I don't know, man. Yeah, Lennox Lewis. Lennox, I'm coming for you.
Mike, is it frustrating to train like you did and then have this in 7 or 8 seconds?
For this fight, I only trained probably 2 weeks or 3 weeks for this fight. I had to bury my best friend, and I dedicated this fight. I wasn't going to fight. I dedicated this fight to him. I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lennox is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from their cloth. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
Are you saying now, Mike,
Oh, Jesus.
All-time classic.
Wow. Like, I even have to say anything? Like, I don't even have to say anything. I mean, he mentioned Alexander the Great, okay? Impetuous, impregnable. He used the phrase, I'm of their cloth. And then he closed with, I want to eat his children, praise Allah. I mean, wow. That's not even my number one. Here's my number one. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
When you just talk about practice, we sitting here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice. Not a game. Not the game that I go out there and die for and play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We're talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that, man? We're talking about practice. I know I'm supposed to be there. I know I'm supposed to lead by example. I know that. And I'm not shoving it aside, you know, like it don't mean anything. I know it's important. I do. I honestly do. But we talking about practice, man. What are we talking about? Practice? We're talking about practice, man. We're talking about practice. We're talking about practice. We ain't talking about the game. We're talking about practice, man.
I'm supposed to be the franchise players,
Yes.
and we sitting up here talking about practice.
Yes.
I mean, we talking about practice, not the game that I go out here and die for. I mean, dude, rants like meltdowns don't get more iconic than that. That's it for me. I don't need, like, I showed him, there it goes, a long drive. J.D. Warner has done it again. All right. Now, before we get into rebuttals and sum-ups, I mentioned earlier our man Burt Blackerack was supposed to be on this episode, and he had to bow out at the last second. But the meltdown that he chose was so classic that I still want to show it. It's just so great. So I'm gonna show Burt Blackerack's choice, and you can't vote for him because he's not here, but you'll get to enjoy this classic moment from sports history.
I didn't want to get myself into a situation where all I had to go after him was all right, and our lefts were swinging the bats well, so I wanted my left-handed hitters to hit.
Did you consider Brett for Miller with the bases loaded in the seventh?
No, don't ask me all these stupid-ass questions. No. In the... God, all these stupid-ass questions every night. Find the I hit Brett for Miller. Miller started the game. He's playing against left-handed pitchers. Brett is not playing against left-handed pitchers. Find the I bat for Miller. You think I'm a goddamn fool? I'm tired of all these ass questions every night. And stay out here asking all these dumb ass questions. Stupid. Suckers. Ask me that stupid ass shit every night. Stupid ass. I'm not taking no shit off. You guys are not taking no shit off the players. I'm sick and tired. I'm fed up with everything. No shit from you guys, no shit from you players. And they can do any thing they want to do. I'm sick and tired of all this bullshit. Now, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Talk about a guy like, I mean...
Did you see the guy bleeding?
Yeah! Like, talk about a guy about...
Did you see the guy? I mean, he cut a guy. That was my favorite part.
Like, dude, awesome.
He cut a guy. The guy was bleeding. Yeah. That was awesome.
All right. Mr. Fairman, you get to close the arguments out here. I know you got something special for the gang here, so you're up, my man.
Bring it on!
First of all, this episode is called Best Meltdown. Let me explain to you what's involved in a true meltdown.
Uh-oh.
So, first of all, it starts off kind of mellow, right? A meltdown has to come out of nowhere. It's got to, you know, you're just respectful and you're mellow. Then you kind of elevate. Number 2 in a meltdown is you have to throw a curse word in there.
Yeah.
Bullshit, a dumbass, you know, F you, whatever. You know, and then third, your body has to impulsively react. Like you got to either like hit something or throw something. These are 3 very important parts of a meltdown. But the final thing that wraps up a great meltdown is when everyone in the room is just purely uncomfortable. And no one knows how to react, but someone does. And that's what makes a meltdown. So if you can roll tape, I think my tape will explain it perfectly.
All right, here we go.
The magma then escapes through vents in the Earth's crust, causing volcanic eruptions. Now above ground, this magma is referred to as lava And
5 of the play clock. Takes the snap, goes back to throw, hit from behind. Mark Anderson. Ball is bouncing around. Picked up on one hop. We got a touchdown, Chicago.
reach temperatures of over 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
From the 41, he takes the snap again. The hand up, Edgerrin James stuck up the middle by Alfonso Boone. Ball's out, and it's picked up by the Bears. Running it, Tillman, 20, 15, 10, 5. Are you kidding me? Touchdown. Defensive touchdown, number 2. Snap. Pressure comes up the middle. He gets the punt away. High. Hester under it. Backs up to his 16. 5. Touchdown. Touchdown. Bears. No flags. Windy City. Left hash. Angle to the right for the win. Snap. Spot. Racker's kick. It has the direction.
4 picks against Grossman and 2 fumbles. What do you see about the Bears? We shut them down that way?
No, we just the Bears are what we thought they were. They're what we thought they were. We played them in preseason. Who the hell takes a third game in the preseason like it's bull? We played them in the third game. Everybody played 3 quarters. The Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
I mean, you would think there was like an $100,000 grand prize for this season. The effort that this cat. I mean, wow.
Pay for the editing budget in this?
Did you have a budget for that clip? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Give me my 2 minutes.
What's that? Yeah.
Give me my 2 minutes.
Here's Johnny.
All right. So I'm going to take over for a second here.
Oh, boy.
Now.
There's more.
I'm just going to take you back and recap here, right? Now, here's the best part of this, right? Is at the end of it, after the whole thing, see if you guys can hear this. He smacks and he walks out, and everyone's super uncomfortable. And all you hear is that reporter go, "Thanks, Coach."
Oh, yeah. That was the best part.
It is the best part. Like, see if you can hear it again.
Okay.
But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
Thanks, Coach.
I'm telling you. It's the only one that meets all the criteria. The only one.
Well, as we say in the hood, if you ax me, that was a lot of ado over nothing. But let's get in the rebuttals. But first, let's do a quick sum up. We got David with the Mike Gundy I'm a man rant. We got Olu with Eric Carr, whatever, with the whatever he was talking
Call him
about.
King Derek.
Yeah.
Derek.
We got Theo with the classic Herm Edwards rant. I, of course, picked the Iverson practice rant. And Danny Fairman with Dennis Green's famous NFL press conference rant. So let's get into some rebuttals. And let's start it off with my man Theo. Let me set up the clock first for the 1 minute time.
And make sure your Wi-Fi works good.
I don't know. Ask AT&T.
We're talking about Wi-Fi.
I was going to say the
They all
same
go on
thing.
a rant about Wi-Fi.
That's good.
All right, 1 minute. Do it, Theo.
Okay, so I believe the actual name of the episode was Rant/Meltdown. Dennis Green, best meltdown ever because no one ever understood what the heck he was talking about. My man from across the pond, that was definitely some sort of weird meltdown. I have no idea what that even was. The OSU guy, that was also very good. I will say Allen Iverson, a little known fact, he had a friend that had died.
Oh, yeah.
And the trial had just come up around the time of the practice, which precipitated him really more behaving that way, which is a great behind the story of that.
Yeah.
But rant and little meltdown, Herm Edwards gave the stare A pause?
He did.
He didn't curse, but he threw in the hello.
Yeah.
And then one simple sentence. Play to win.
Yeah. All right. Not bad. I can't be mad at that. All right. Mr. AE, let's hear what you have on the rebuttal tip. 1 minute. Do it.
Okay. I would say Iverson's not really melting there. He seems to me like he just smoked 2 or 3 blunts and he was just repeating a phrase. So I wouldn't say that was a meltdown. I think the Edwards, that was some good facial ranting. I would say Mr. Goodman's guy with his face the same color as his shirt was quite exciting. And also Danny's, again, NFL coaches have really good meltdowns. In terms of King Eric, it's all to do in the cool. So he was just that kind of guy whereby he was kind of hypnotic, and the line is what is the memorable thing for the last 20 years. So I still think my fans will come and give me the thumbs up for that one.
That's nice.
All right. I'm going to hop in here, and for last little butter time, let me start the clock. All right. Mike Gundy, not bad. There's some good ones here. I like Mike Gundy. College football, though, no one really cares. Like the Olu, like this is an American show. Like no one even knows. Who is that? Herm Edwards, great. I love it. Another excellent choice. But kind of brief, not really ranty enough. Dennis Green, I don't know, all the video pyrotechnics lost me, so I'm just gonna hop over that one. Dude, Iverson's rant is iconic. To any sports fan, you say the line, we up here talking about practice, they're gonna crack up. And not only that, dude, it's the only one of these rants that ever had a song. If it'll play.
It beeps.
What you doing is showing you doing this. Why you pursuing the skill trade? You trying to get paid and laid before the groupies in the block, man. The fact is, it takes practice. We talking about practice. Listen, we talking about practice. Not a game.
Yeah.
We talking about
Philly MC J Live. He's from your town, Dave. J Live did the song Practice, the only one of these rants that has a badass song about it. Boom. Butter out. Next up, Mr. Fairman. Let's hear what you've got on the rebuttal tip, my man.
All right. Mike Gundy, if you're a man, don't wear a visor. I still respect it for that. I don't know what that was other than a zoology lesson. All right. Theo, Herm Edwards, it was good. I liked it, but you should not get points for someone saying something obvious. You're right. It was simple. JD, it's not a meltdown. It's just not. And maybe he should practice his press conferences, because that was so scripted. I can't even tell you. Practice your press conference.
22 times he said practice.
Yeah, exactly. Because he didn't know what to say. He needs to rehearse more. Maybe he should practice more. I wish Burr was here, because that rant was probably my only competition.
Broke more than your heart.
Wow.
Yeah, man, you don't like it, baby.
Danny Fairman playing to win the game, ladies and gentlemen.
Not bad. Not bad.
All right.
Not bad.
Mr. Goodman, doctor of general knowledge.
Before you start, before my time starts, what's interesting here is we had two kind of you guys are great. Mine's good, but you guys are great. And then we had two go after you hard rebuttals. So it's interesting how the rebuttals were some were like, "You're so wonderful," and the other's like, "I'm gonna kill you." So I'm gonna try to head down that road.
All right. 1 minute. Do it.
Bring it on.
Right. King Eric. It's succinct. It's poetic. It was short. And although it's a pointed and veiled middle finger to the press, it's not a rant. But he's got a great unibrow. Okay. Herm Edwards, thank you for the miracle at the Meadowlands. And thank you, Captain Obvious. Okay. By the way, it was a life lesson. You said it yourself, not a rant. All right? Allen Iverson, hard to argue with my boy. I mean, he's on the Sixers Mount Rushmore. But I'm talking about practice. Just go. Just go practice. It's all right. Just go practice, right? Dennis Green, it was a short rant. It was great. Oh, by the way, just win the game. You wouldn't be so angry. And Danny, way too much prep. Way too much prep to have to explain it, okay? I had to explain mine afterwards just because there's a story behind it. All right, so this is what I want to say about my guy. All right, first of all, I love some of his lines. This was brought to me by a mother of children, okay? 3/4 of this article was inaccurate. It's fiction. It's embarrassing. I didn't read it. I love this stuff. And the last one, I'll just finish this with. I hope someday you have a child and somebody downgrade him and belittles him. And you have to look him in the eye and say, you know what? It's okay. They're supposed to be mature adults, but they're really not. What?
What this boy talking about on the telephone, man?
I'm a man. I'm 40. I'm 55. Out.
I'm sorry, Dave.
All right.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
Not bad at all. All right, America, now it's on you. And I think I mentioned earlier in the show, this episode is worth double points. We only have a few episodes left, so it's getting really good. Danny, of course, remains the point leader. Olu is right up at the top. I'm in there. Mr. Goodman's in there. So it's coming down to the nitty-gritty, ladies and germs. So let's see what you guys have to say in the comments and who you think made the most compelling argument. And at the end of the season, and it's real close, somebody is going to be a winner and the rest of us are going to be losers. So until next week, let's hear it for this fantastic panel. Over here to my left, Mr. Theo Wilson. Give him some dap, ladies and
Kamala
gentlemen.
Harris.
Over here,
Kamala
Mr.
Harris.
Danny Fairman, ladies and germs. Down here, Mr. Olu Alemoru, ladies and gentlemen. Give him love. And over here, Mr. David Goodman.
Look, here's the deal.
Have been Mr. J.D. Butter, our first post-Trump episode. We are out of here. See you next week, America.